90 minutes plus 1. Bruno'S awarded the ball from the corner kick spot inside the box of FC Porto. And the moment that Manchester fans Paul 100 times will be lucky once appeared. That's when Harry Maguire stood up. Hit your head like a hammer to beat Diego Costa. In the surprise of all, Philippines network activated NBA scores are all in Man United. Porto dropped the victory. The opponent has to compete with 10 people in the last 15 minutes of the game. If you include overtime, the Red Devils finally drew in the Europa League, but with a much funnier script. For leading Porto deep before the fall, watch the students destroy everything. The Manchester United of today no longer has any form of a big European guy. Instead, people are wondering why. Mark went to save me. A waste essay from management like this. After 7 defeats against Tottenham in the 6th round of the Premier League, many reputable sources have reported that there are only 2 games left against Porto and Aston Villa in this weekend to save his career at Old Trafford. Man United is great, brings the strangeness of the wind. I thought it was a Red Devil. The most stable, they suddenly fall. And when we're all thinking about the next 7 failures, in some magical way, you get up in the mud so hard to find. To support the above argument, the whole army of 10 marched to Porto's Regueio pitch with an attitude full of confidence. In round 2, Europa League qualification round, the first 20 minutes, I almost forgot all my dark memories from last week. By 2 quick goals to lead Porto 2-0. If Man United comes out and gets 3 points, vampires will be the focus when you both set up 2 dwarves to score. But that's a beautiful script. It never belonged to the Old Trafford team. In fact, United scored against Porto from goalkeeper Diego Costa's personal mistake. More when you catch the ball in both situations. But what makes Man's fans United was the most angry. It's just the way United are confused. Too many advantages on the field. Good work is not enough to praise. The defense has continued to play badly. The 8 hat was soon warning about the dangers of dinosaur rookies. Because this 2004-born striker, it's no different than Lukaku at the top. The Dutch teacher was confident. 2 central defenders Lisito Martinez-Martin de Ligt lose both in height and body. Let Omoyole torture Manchester's defense. Porto scored 2 goals in the first half, put the score back to 2, and just the first 5 minutes of the second half completed the double with the skill set of breaking performance of Hollow or Ziggy since the beginning of the season. Added up all previous work of United, like a river breaking down. Porto came back in the 50th minute, even though it's led so deep, and maybe the audience at the Braga felt it. The Man's players United are looking to saw Ten Hat's chair because otherwise they'd have worked harder the rest of the time. And worse, when you can't drill a piece of Porto's net. Bruno Fernandes makes the point for himself by playing high legs. The opponent received a yellow card before. Is an exemplary captain. Should be toilet 1909 to take on the task. Motivate your team to move forward. But Bruno just got off a red card a few days ago. When Man United appealed to Premier League organizers. Successful time. You keep getting red envelopes from the judges. The red card is not a bad thing. It happened at a time when Manchester needed to win because time only goes by for the last few minutes before Bruno was sent off. People had to laugh at Erik ten Hag for replacing centre-backs Martinez de Ligt, Harry Maguire and John Evans. Even though the supply line was at a standstill. But ironically, it's this confusing change of people. The 54-year-old coach become a master of strategy with his extreme military control skills. People who are taught to trust, ready to hand over captains like Bruno Fernandes. Hand again, broke 1 leg of his teacher's training chair. But the French guard was rejected. Being pushed away last season was spooky. You once again proved your professionalism. By the head phase. I think it was for Man United before Potter. Result as lightning strikes Ty Comerocian because the former captain of the Red Devils again for the hard bar. The chair is solid. There is only one winner. They all have to be free. To think that Moraes is getting close to SA waste is difficult. Even so, the sanctity of a big team like Man United is slowly losing it all when the statistics show that the 6th century that a European club once had, according to Mr. Tan Sure. Since Erik ten Hag took over Man United in the summer of 2002, there have been no Premier League clubs to date conceding 3 or more goals in a match. As much as the Old Trafford team specifically, you have conceded 3 or more goals in 24 games. That includes 3 games this season against Liverpool, Tottenham and Porto. Strangely enough, Man United continue to hold on. Eric at the Falls. The team's performance is far from improving. It's because of that unnecessary clemency. That's what makes the fans have to go through the hard times. One battle after another. The wrong person, but doesn't he want to change? Leading up to the 2004 season, Man United's 5 is almost over with every ambition. 10 hats are still missing at Old Trafford. The Red Devils are also floating on the Europa table, league with second place after 2 orders. It's hard to believe. Man United has so far not found any. Even if you are on the playground, there are no big names. It's full and now it's Porto. Man United will need another match. Premium it if you are lucky to enter the round. Enough to see. All criticism is directed at you and your students, increasing day by day, and like an old rearranged sink. Remain gentle during the interview to be confident. Talk about the future. United are moving in the right direction. Don't judge us right now. Leave it at the end of the season. We're in the process of reforming, and I'll help the team improve. You've had 3 finals in the last 2 years. There's no reason. I'm not thinking about the Europa League final. Really, when it comes to interviewing talent. Then there's Pep Guardiola or the slaves. You also have to take off your hat. How Eric Ten Hag responded to the media. Statements never go hand in hand with action, but it's been said week in and week out. But the camera. The match between Porto and Manchester. There are always enough pictures to catch the tower to worry about. Every time your team loses everything, the victory is in your hands. You are hard to understand. Porto for sure. A visit to Aston Villa this weekend. It is no different than a death sentence. Take the song away from Old Trafford. He also breathed a sigh of relief when it didn't happen. Combo instead of confusing when withdrawing the rapper. The SAO is only the best today. Out of the field, captain Bruno Fernandes. It's getting worse and worse to be disqualified. But it's hard to understand. Coach Ten Hag still has some hope. Even the smallest. Even so, it's never been quiet. Red Fund needs to solve the Aston Villa problem. In the 7th round of the Premier League, I want to have a more positive view of the leadership. After the FIFA days break in October, Fenerbahce will be Manchester's next rival in Europa League, and the march away from home. There was no captain's service. I'm not sure the Old Trafford team has a question, peace or not. Through a multitude of temporary arguments, Man United is played by Eric Ten Hag. Whether the result is cool or a SAO. Like Sergeant Rabbit Master, athlete of the Red Devils, you need to learn with perseverance. Grievance. Watch Captain Ten Hag Leo drive the Man unit up and down more matches. This year's season general will be experimental. Fortunately, Tan will be in the final. A cup is not very important. General recipe for Ten Hag confidence. Show off achievements. With the trophies he brought back to Chamford Stadium, Harry Maguire is making people sad. Because you don't shine, the dawn will come to Man United. Now we have to wait and see. Is there a conspiracy? Behind the scenes are the Red Fund players set up again or not? 4 games in a row without winning. The coach is like a team hat. Keep the chair. Where will a big club like Manchester United go? It's hard for anyone to know.